That's what I was supposed to do. But no, the little box of tricks I have on my desk in front of me isn't functioning properly. So how is everybody? Everybody, I don't know what everybody means actually in this session. So let's have a look. I can sort of go. Ooh, yes, okay. So a couple of you. Yes, I've got Sketchola written on the title of it. I'll change it later. Okay, so what's the news this week? I mean, I'm very busy. I've got lots on. I've got a show opening tomorrow for Culture Night. It's being opened by the Lord Mayor of Dublin. James Gagan is his name. So I wonder what he's got to say. But so that's opening tomorrow. I've got it's kind of like a backlog of work. So I mean, there's very few new pieces in it, but that's one of them there. If I can sort of, and you can see some other sort of bits that are kind of leaning up against the painting of the horse there. Yeah, so let me know where you're viewing from. It would be nice to know that you're there and watching. And who's in? Who's in the house? Who's in the house? Who's in the hood? As the young people are wont to say these days. I was out there on my scooter earlier on. I went to town because I had to get a couple of things for the show in Evans, our local good art shop, and I started feeling old, looking at all the young people sort of wandering around. But it was lovely to be going around in the sunshine. We've got sunshine here. I don't know whether it's like that. I hope it's like that where you are. What else in the week? Was teaching all week, of course, and what we were doing, in fact, was painting glass. So we kind of tend to cycle through a sort of a series of objects that I hope will help people sort of just conceptualize the way to paint. You know, so if I start out with an apple and then I'll go on to a glass, clear glass, and then it will be silver, then a white object, then flowers because it's an abstract shape, and then a landscape at the end, sort of for the sixth week. So that's the kind of order in which I do things. So I'm going to paint a little bottle today, just for my little evening session here, but I'm going to paint a blue bottle, okay? Not the fly, but an actual piece of glass. So, and it's not going to be a long one tonight because what time have we got now? It's 7:22, because I've got to go and take a whole heap of paintings down to my local village community hall and start sort of hanging them. So I think I'm starting at 8:30 or something like that. So yeah, so busy evening and busy morning tomorrow. Ah, Martin, how are you doing? As grey as a badger's arse, is it? Yeah, okay. All right, okay, so I'm sorry to hear that. Where are you? You're down, can't remember where you are. You're perhaps northern England, aren't you? It's Miles who's in the west, the West Country. Yeah. So yeah. Oh well. Yeah. I hope it improves. We haven't had much of a summer, have we? We were just talking to somebody about that. You know, I really do sort of. I don't relish the 6-month winter that we tend to have in Ireland. Anyway, Dublin's very grey. The sky is often grey, so we glory in the lovely days when they come along. Apparently, Galway on the west coast it's even wetter. Every time you go there, it's raining. But yeah, I'm not resting. So I want to go away. I want to go this winter somewhere like Lanzarote or something like that in January, and just take a week off and see if we can get some warmth into the old bones. Yep. Okay. So that's it. I've just got this brush here, and it's starting to get the worse for wear. And I've just noticed that I think that the actual ferrule is broken, so it might actually collapse on me while I'm painting today. All right, so what am I going to paint, guys? And do comment as I go on. It's great to look up and see a new comment in there. Just keep the conversation going. It helps me not to dry up. So let's have a look, see if this thing is decided to repair itself and work. Oh, I know. Here, hang on, just a moment. So go back home and then go still alive. That should work. Let's see. So that's the browser. So good, it's working. Yeah, great. That's what I'm going to paint. That's in front of me. Now, I don't have a camera, kind of I would say a webcam on that, but it's actually there. It's off to my left, and I'm going to be looking at it while I'm painting. So I might sort of fall out of the camera range, but I'll try and sort of make sure that I keep appearing. But I have it on my phone. You've got it. You'll have it in front of you. Oh, not there. Where is it? There. Okay. So you've got the thing there. You've got my palette there. That's good. You've got the canvas there. That's a 5" by 7" canvas. Okay. So yeah. So that you've got everything that you need there. So without further ado, I suppose I better get on, because I think I'm going to be wrecked this weekend after all the work. Yeah, interested to hear how you. I don't know whether you do shows and things like that. Especially Martin, you were telling me that you were doing illustration. I thought it's a nice idea you have, that you told me about with your guitars and everything like that. I like that. I don't know, where did you get those decals from? I think you mentioned that they were decals. It was interesting, that. And also the guitars, Hania guitars. I hadn't heard of the brand. Are they good guitars? I don't know. I kind of tried to look them up, and I didn't find much evidence of them around. But I like those parlor guitars. I wanted to buy one time, Cat's Eye one, which is kind of they were licensed under Martin, I think, to make guitars, and it was absolutely beautiful piece of work. This guitar in a very good guitar shop here in Dublin. But I sort of, I bottled out of buying it. Just didn't have the money. Right, so. Oh, wow. Okay, you make your guitars. God, what a thing to do. I'd love to be able to do that. I'm kind of half thinking, because there's not enough time, is there, to do everything, but I've always wanted to make an instrument, and I play traditional Irish music. That's the music that I chose to play. A bit of a one-trick pony, but and I tried and play a bit of guitar. I really like Jake Thackeray. I don't know whether you ever remember him he was kind of popular in the 60s. Great songs, and very pithy, intelligent, and he was obviously well read. So I like his, and they're really long songs as well, so they're kind of hard to learn. But the chords aren't too difficult. You can sort of get by on reasonably simple chords, but So I want to be that, and then I want to be a flute player in the traditional Irish sense, and I want to be a fiddle player and everything. I love it. I get sidetracked, and I go off down sort of cul-de-sacs of music, and I have to back out of those, and probably end up not being very good at any of them. Anyway, so yeah, I'd like to hear more about that guitar making business. Even to see it, I think it's fascinating. I love what people can do. Humans are great, aren't they? So let me just change to the work. Okay, there. So the first thing I'm going to do, as usual, is put on a wash. So I'm going to have to move over. Oh, you can't see me anyway, but you can hear me. That's good. Okay, so I'm going to grab some burnt sienna. Now, interestingly enough, I kind of rushed to get this started this evening, because I was doing so much other stuff, and I rushed over and got this canvas that I made myself. And you probably noticed that you can see the tooth in the canvas. That's because it isn't actually canvas. It's Hessian or jute, I don't know whichever one it is, but they're both as rough as each other. So it's a very heavy tooth on this on this canvas. This is going to be interesting. Where's my rag? Down there. All right. Okay. Wipe that back so it's not sopping wet. Wipe it a bit further because there are kind of deep valleys in between the threads of that jute or hessian. Okay, so let's have a look at the measure. I'm going to measure this thing. It looks longer in the that photograph I've got up there than it does in real life. Actually, it's about half as high as it's long. Half as wide as it's high. That's what I meant to say. Okay, so if I do it like that and that, maybe put it up a bit, and about halfway is there. So that, the bottle would be from there to there. And if I give myself a little bit of a rectangle, I can move it over slightly, center it. And the background is, I was in the art shop, the local art shop here called Evans. It's in Dublin city centre. And I was in there today and I found this nice pad of kind of goldy and golden brown and earthy coloured paper. Can't see the actual pad at the moment. Hang on. Here it is. I thought it would make nice backgrounds. Let's have a look. It's by... Doesn't say who it's by. Let's have a look. That's the one there. If you sort of look into it, it's... I thought they make nice backdrops for brighter objects. It gets brighter and brighter there. Starts off quite dark, yeah. And they're kind of greyish, brownish. You can see it kind of there. It's interesting, isn't it? Activity. I've never heard of the brand before. Instead of having bright stuff all the time. So there's a there you go. There's a rake of an angle like that coming there, and that kind of agrees down there. And then we're going to do a bit of geometry now, I suppose. That's the side of the bottle there. Just tip that back a little bit. There's the lid. I don't want to come up too much above that top of the bottle, so maybe I'll bring that down a bit. And bring that down. I mean, painting is all about making marks and then correcting them anyway, so. Okay, and then the horizon is there. And that'll do for my drawing. It's very simple drawing. I'm going to change my brush to this one here, which is number 4 in the Create range. A 4 flat bright, short flat bright. There you can see it there. Yeah. Do ask any questions if you have some. So I'm going to start out with some darks, not necessarily the lid, but the darks in here. So I'm going to mix up some blue and red. Make sure I've got enough. So down below, at the bottom of that, I'm going to mix a touch of black into it as well. Just make sure it's nice and dark. And then put that in there, and then there, along there, down that side, and down that side. I can see all the darks there. Can you see how how rough that that texture is on this canvas? I'm going to actually make the rake, exaggerate that rake a little bit. Okay, that across there is quite dark there. That's dark there. Right, I'm going to make a dark of burnt sienna and blue for a lot of that lid, or that's top there. Okay. Now, there's a mid blue, much lighter blue, but still a kind of a red blue to me up here. So it's lighter and it comes down to about a third there. But it's darker than this part here. But in the center third, is a reddish medium to light blue. So there, I'm going to block that in. And it's slightly bluer on the left. And looking at the actual object, rather than the picture of the object, which you're looking at, I suppose, up here is lighter again and bluer. All right. So we've got that all blocked in. Now across the top, it's reflecting something red. It's quite red there, so I've mixed in more red. Let me just put that one in there as well. And then there's the dark blue underneath that cap. Okay, to the Batmobile, no, not the Batmobile, to the background. I'm going to do the foreground first, so it's a pale, light, natural looking green. So yellow plus white plus blue plus more yellow plus more white, that being the body colour. I must make sure I make more than I usually do because the texture of this thing is really soaking up the paint. So something like that. So it's light and pale. And then from the body colour, I'm going to make the shadow colour, which is going off to the right. So I'm going to get a bit of black. So I'm going back to basics here. This is what I teach at the first 6 classes. I use black to make the shadows. But I'm not going to stick to it necessarily. I'm going to put in a little bit of blue. And I'm going to put in a little bit of red. Okay. And the shadow goes across like that, up there. So that's that bit blocked in. And then grab my body colour for the foreground. Put that in there like that. Come across. Block that in, just a big block. And of course, at the back there. Now the background is that kind of coffee colour. Let's see, it's a reddy, yellowy grey, you might call it. So let's get some white first of all. Let's put it in a position where you can see it there. Make sure there's plenty. Hang on. I left the paint on the palette from last week because I just got waylaid. And so underneath this fresh paint, there's these kind of gobs of kind of semi-dried paint. Anyway, so let me try red, yellow, and blue. More yellow, more red. Always mix incrementally. So that will make a kind of a coffee colour. I think more yellow. Oh, there's plenty. Let's have a look. Put that on there like that. No, it's grey out. I'm going to put a little touch of black into it. And a bit more blue too. Yeah, that's more like it, I think. Redder. The thing about these cameras is that they're not all synced up in terms of colour, so it's not... I don't know how to do that, actually. You need to be a cameraman. So a bit more red into it there. And I'm going to shape the bottle a little bit. These are the kind of exercises that is worth doing every day. Just doing one small object every day, and that will help your painting practice and get you into the swing of things. I've done hundreds of these things, I'm sure. And they should take you about, I don't know, an hour or an hour and a half, depends on the complexity of the object. Okay. So we're down there. Okay, so now I've blocked in the painting. I'll stick with the same brush for the moment. There's a lovely rich blue, so a red blue, but dark, going down from that shoulder downwards. Okay, and then, maybe because I'm sinking in my seat, this part up here, just looking at what's in front of me, not the photograph, comes down there like that. There's also that dark, I just want to restate it, coming along here. Okay. Now, some of that foreground, or that background, I should say, is being reflected up here. I'm going to put that in there, just a little touch to note that I've noticed it, I suppose. The blue, as it goes down to the middle of that bottle, gets a little bit greenish and paler. Just round about here, or even paler than that. Because it's reflecting this down here. You have to take note of everything that's around it, even here it's the same. Hey Miles! There wasn't much pre-match gossip. So I was very late starting, and I was getting myself in a complete state, sort of trying to get the technology working as usual. Bit of green maybe here as well, just in that dark. Okay, I want to join up. It's hard to join up these areas because the texture is so deep here. A bit there. Now let's deal with the lid. I think I'll switch to my smaller brush, the number, crikey, well, I don't know what that says. Anyway, maybe it's the number 1, something like that. So there's a bit of a reflection of blue, but it's a greyish blue, so I add a bit of black to that grey and put that there. Across the top is a bit of a reflection of that background, but dark, so let's push that up a little bit there. And the paler bluish mid-tones, just coming down there. I'm not going to do much of them. I'm not going to describe each bloody one. All right, and then there's a light bluish reflection. So we're getting up near the highlights now. There's two of them here for me. All right, and then there are some lighter blues. Yeah, lighter blues, but not highlight level just yet. Let's make sure they are going to show. There and there. And then there's a kind of a little bit, I think it's dust, but it comes around there like that. Okay. I'm going to put in a very beautiful blue, which is just lighter, just around there, coming down there like that. So there's a lot going on in this, and you just have to sort of you have to look for it. It's not just a kind of, you know, a uniform blue bottle, because it's reflecting everything around it. And then that goes there like that. There. I'm just looking at the photograph here. You cannot see those in the photograph, so I apologise for that. But that's cameras for you. You can't sort of get everything you want out of a photograph, unfortunately. Put that there. Get that purpley colour again. Fill that in, and even this, fill that in there. Okay, now I'm going to get my foreground colour, that light green, and I'm just going to sculpt that a bit there, and then sculpt that around there, because I want the shadow to look, I'd say, if it is actually as if it is emanating from the side of that bottle, and I'm going to push that in a wee bit. I don't understand about cameras. I'm not sort of au fait with the, you know, the way they work. You know, I'm looking at the picture that I took with my phone of that, and it lengthened the bottle. I don't know why. The bottle isn't as lengthy as the photograph seems to have it. Maybe it was the angle at which I took the photograph. Anyway, it's not my area of expertise. I'm just going to push that down, get the shadow colour. Okay, I'm going to get the background and shape the bottle here at the back, which has been annoying me for the last 15 minutes or so. Sculpt that down there, that corner, and then I can sculpt the lid, or what do you call it, the top of that bottle. And now I need to go back and get a dark and reshape the lid there. Push that around. There's a very sort of delicate light colour that looks like, in the gloom of the studio, looks like the green. So I'm going to put it in as the green. It can't be the green, but it looks like it. So if it looks like it, that's what's going to be. And that's along there. I just needed to steady my hand there. Now, as far as I can tell, there's only one highlight in this thing here. I've got to push that and sculpt that in a wee bit. My bottle looks like it's having a subsidence problem. I was talking to my students today in the class, and I was going through the process with them, and maybe my terminology is a little bit sort of homespun. I haven't sort of bothered me Barney sort of finding out what the actual true descriptions are, but you know, after putting in the highlights, I talk about going around and making good in the painting, which is what builders do. You know, they get a snag list, and when they've almost finished the build, the last thing they do is kind of make good. I'm using builders terminology. I think you're all very lucky I turned up. Right, so, and then across the top of the shoulder, just around about here, kind of goes light a bit there. Now, the highlight for me, I'm going to make it a warm highlight. It's hard to tell in the gloomy studio if it's warm or cool, but it'd be nice if it was warm. So when I do a warm highlight, I get plenty of white, and I get a bit of yellow, and a touch of red. And that should give me a kind of a golden-y colour, a bit more red. And I load the brush, so the paint is proud of the brush. I just leave it on. There. And I might just actually do something with those highlights too. Wouldn't do a bit of harm. Okay, and then I'll do what I say that the builders do. So I'm going to add some white, and maybe a touch of red into that foreground colour, just so that it's slightly different, and push that around a bit. You probably can't see the subtleties in that, and the camera mightn't be able to pick it up even. And maybe I'll get a little bit of blue into that background colour. And so we'll make some kind of greyer parts there. Push that in. There. I mean, this is the essence of the daily painting phenomenon, isn't it? It's just painting a single object, one a day. And this here just needs to be pushed up a bit, the shadow, so that it meets there at the corner. And then I've got that part there. And then, what can I do? Let's get another bit of dark blue, and I can put in some notes of dark blue around the place. There. And not blending, but sort of move some of the colours around a bit into each other, so they're not just sort of completely distinct areas. Especially around there. And in fact, there is a bit of a It's all about observation, isn't it? There's a bit of a lighter blue in there. Let me under the lid and push that up. And I might just sort of break up the edge of that a little bit as well. And break up the edge over here. And that's bothering me there. Push that up. And it must be that there is a bit of blue light coming through that bottle and landing on this flat surface here. I'm going to lighten it. Break that up, but not blend. I'm again blending. Now I might just push out that cap on this side as well. Which means I have to move that little light along a bit there. Okay, I might lighten this here as well. And in there a little bit. I always like to see lots of tiny little strokes rather than blending. And there's a very dark, just here. And there. Is it on here, this side? There. Let's see if I can sort of mask, get the light from Yeah, it's not very good at picking out the subtleties of the colour. Yeah. I've got an aching shoulder now. Right, so let's hold this up then. See, it's very. Oh, that's picking up the colour better. That camera, which is a cheaper camera. Yeah. And if you want to see what I was painting, I'll do this just for a second. Turn it around. There you go, there it was. Good look at that mess. Look at that mess. So, how's that for you all? Right myself in this sinking ship. There you go, that's it. Yeah. Very small. Daily painting, almost postcard size. That's what got me teaching, actually, was the daily painting. Yeah, so you can wake up now. Yeah, yes, I kind of I could have made life more easy for myself if I hadn't painted on the Hessian, but once I only noticed it once I actually had launched into the live stream. But that's painting all over, isn't it? You put all your stuff together and you go out into the field and you suddenly see that you've forgotten a vital colour or something, so you've got to improvise. So you deal with what you're given, because painting is about coping and not about solving problems, but coping with problems. Yeah, so that's it. I've got a ton of those things sort of just in the back of the studio, little practice pieces. Yeah, so I don't know, talk to me. What have you got? Have you done any painting? What are the plans for the weekend? Miles, I was just saying that I've got an exhibition starting tomorrow evening, just for culture night and the subsequent weekend. But I'm actually going to be starting it just after I finish the live stream. So, I mean, I've got about 40 paintings on the list, but I think I'll probably end up cutting. So I don't know what's actually going to. I can't actually produce the list with the prices on it until I've got the thing up and can see what I can fit in. So it's a strange one. That's it's more improvisation, isn't it? So, who else is there? Let me have a look. If you don't, if you haven't been here before, tell me where you're viewing from. It's always very interesting. Yeah. So I know I didn't give any warning that there was going to be a live stream at all today, because I actually, frankly, wasn't sure whether I'd be able to fit it in. But I discovered that they're not putting in all the stuff for the exhibition until 8:30. So I had the time. So another trip to, let's see, there's a heart in the way of this, bloody hell. To the Tate at St Ives. Okay. When I finished my apprenticeship in West London, I actually sort of nearly went for a job in St Ives. I'm kind of sorry that I didn't. It would have been a fun thing to do. There was a big printing place in St Ives, I think. I don't even know if it's still going there. Probably not, because the industry was decimated over the course of the last 20, 30 years. So yeah, I nearly did it. And in the end I came to Dublin. I had to go somewhere. I couldn't afford a house in London. Yeah, so I think it can be a short one. What was that? That was kind of like 40, 45 minutes. It's not bad, is it? You know, we did a still life, daily painting. What is it? Determine the orientation on your canvas, put on the wash, measure and do a drawing, put in the darks if you need to put in the darks to give yourself a skeleton to hang your painting on, put in all the blocks of colour, and then put in the details, highlights, and then make good. Always the same. With me, it's always the same process. And you know, for me, having the process makes painting easier, because you don't have to think about how you start a painting or finish a painting every time. Yeah, that's it. Right, guys, so I do wish you a lovely evening, and I'll see you next week. Next week I should be able to spend a bit more time and be more prepared. And actually at class we're going to be painting silver, so I might actually paint a silver object in front of you, which is the same process again. It's just a slightly different conceptual leap or something to paint it, but it's the same stuff anyway. Listen, thank you very much, Martin. Thank you very much, Miles, and anyone else what came along to see me. Ivor, who usually comes here, I think he's going to come along to the show either tomorrow or Saturday, so I'll see him then. Have a lovely evening, guys, and paint oils, paint small, paint often. I never remember to say that, do I? But, okay. All right, all the best. Bye.